right. This one about the coalition, the ADC coalition. As you know, say with all the talk and tell now say the ticket who they want to give, we are not even sure if the ticket are going to be zoning to Peter Obi or they are going to randomly fight for it. We don't know at the moment. The speculation, the what we all can visualize or seeing or even foreseeing is that everybody will fight for this ticket for the next presidential election. Yes, now so it be like say it go be, and if he has to be like that, it go be as he gets for Peter Obi. You and I know that Peter Obi not go spend money to buy delegates. Yes, but I'll come more to this. Let's listen to this. What Abdullahi have to say on Arise TV.
Peter Obi, more than anyone else, knows that he cannot take the risk of going to the PDP because.
So, contrary to widespread speculation, the ADC coalition insists that there is no favoured presidential candidate, at least not at this stage of the political game. Their focus, they say, is on governance and on holding the Tinubu presidency and the ruling APC accountable. And in the latest salvo against the administration, the ADC has expressed outrage at what it called the fiscal vandalism of the government following the approval of an additional $21 billion in foreign loans by the National Assembly. The ADC accused President Tinubu of surpassing his APC predecessor by mortgaging the country's future in mountains of debt, all in the name of economic reform. It said the new wave of borrowing will drive Nigeria's spiral of debt beyond 200 trillion naira before the end of this year, with no corresponding development to show for it or economic revival to justify it. Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the National Publicity Secretary of the new ADC coalition, Bolaji Abdullahi, who is a former Minister of Sport as well as Youth Development. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you.
They're saying that they're gleefully rubbing their hands together and using that as a criticism against you, that you're not going to be any really strong force because already your energies are going to be dissipated because of all these competing forces.
That's what they see. That's what they see. But what we are saying is that our party is 1 month old. We are not having any conversation about who will be the flag bearer of the party at the moment. We are preoccupied with developing our party, with building the structures and putting in place the necessary systems that will prove that will show Nigerians or convince Nigerians that we are truly indeed a democratic party and an opposition party ready to take power in 2027. Now, the question of who becomes the flag bearer of the party is a question that we'll answer down the line, and we are going to do so in a very transparent and democratic ways. And we said we have two options. One option is to try to engineer some consensus. If we are not able to do that, we go to primaries, and whoever emerges, the party will back. So when they look at this, they say it's like a prophecy of doom. To say, oh, don't worry, give them time, they are going to start fighting. They've been saying this from day one. But I can assure you that we are conscious of the challenges that we face as a budding political party, and we are well equipped to deal with our internal issues.
But what do you say to those who say that the people in the ADC have their names? I mean, you have a lot of names that are recognizable, but having left the PDP or the APC, they didn't leave with the party structures. So if you look at the PDP states that have governors, the structures are intact in those states, whereas you guys are building new infrastructure, you're renting new offices, you're hiring new hands, etc. How much does that make a substantial difference from the ward level upwards?
You see, when we talk about structures, and Peter Obi showed us in the last election that it's not just about physical structure, it's about the people. What people do you have? What quality of people, what quality of representation do you have at all levels of the party, whether at the polling unit level, at the ward level, at the zonal level, and at the state level, and at the national level. So when you have one person, for example, able to stand for the party at the polling unit level, that one person can bring 20 people and those 20 people can bring 10 people. So we are trying to build a party that is sufficiently able to mobilize Nigerians to see the ADC as the only alternative to the ruling party. So what we are doing is building a movement of Nigerians who are dissatisfied with the current government enough to say, look, the other parties have been compromised, and this is the only alternative at the moment to the ruling party. Yes, the point you make about us trying to set up offices, trying to build these systems and all that, those are there. But we don't think in any way undermine our capacity as a fighting force for the election in 2027.
But people like the PDP don't agree with you. I mean, the PDP considers itself still a major party in this country. I don't know if you know, for instance, that the PDP is now openly wooing the likes of Peter Obi to return to their fold. And given that the PDP, as we mentioned earlier, still has reasonably solid structures across this country, several governorships under its belt, I mean, do you agree that that could well be a more attractive prospect for Peter Obi than the ADC coalition, which has so far been unable to attract a single governor to the fold?
Let me say clearly that Peter Obi is in the coalition, regardless of what anybody else is saying. But it is good to see that it has taken the coming on board of ADC to get PDP to begin to make some movements. But everyone knows that the jugular of PDP is still in the hands of the ruling party. Everyone knows that. Peter Obi, more than anyone else, knows that he cannot take the risk of going to the PDP, because PDP, and I'll give you an example. When the governor of, the former governor of Delta, Okowa, left PDP to join the APC, who welcomed him in the APC? Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Wike, that is presumably still in the PDP, right? You see PDP governors leaving their parties every day to join the ruling party. You hear PDP governors endorsing President Tinubu as their preferred candidate for 2027. You see PDP bigwigs saying that they no longer believe in this party because they believe that the party has been compromised. So, but like I said, it probably requires ADC to come on board to get PDP to begin to make some movements. I mean, everyone knows in this country today you can conduct a poll. Ask Nigerians, which party do they recognize as the de facto opposition party? I have no doubt in my mind that the answer will be ADC.
Well, I mean, obviously other people would
without saying that they are not an important party. This is a party with history. The historical legacy of PDP will be difficult to erase or even replicate. But it is also the tragedy of our recent democracy that PDP has been reduced to what it has become.
Well, I mean, the impression was always given that this new ADC coalition would bring every bit of the opposition together. I mean, that was the whole idea. Maybe people are thinking of, you know, the way the APC came together or whatever. Maybe you're doing it differently. But certainly that was the impression people had, that it would be welded together into some sort of movement. And you've used the term movement here. That would include not just individuals, but political parties, elected politicians, etc. But so far, what we're essentially seeing is just another political party.
I think you people trying to compare ADC with the APC are probably comparing apples with oranges. APC in 2014 was a product of political strategy. How do we defeat the ruling party? And the answer was clear. The only way you could defeat PDP at the time was for different opposition parties to come together. So it was a consequence of a deliberate political strategy to take power in 2014, 2015. Now, ADC is not the same. ADC is a product of necessity. Like I said earlier, many political leaders in the opposition party has found themselves in a strange situation where they cannot even recognize their parties anymore, either by their own self-inflicted internal contradiction or by official machinations of government. These parties were no longer able to provide a platform for a wide array of political leaders. And now the question is, so what do we do if we are not able to run on the platform for our political party? Don't forget that the challenges in this party is who controls the leadership, who controls the party machinery, who is in charge of this party. Now, having been unable to answer those questions, the only alternative left is for people who are convinced that this party is no longer viable as a platform, a political platform, to seek alternative. That's when the various leaders across the different parties begin to have conversation and that's why the word coalition did not happen in the respect to APC. What we had was merger. But in this case, we are talking of a coalition of different political leaders coming together to form a new political party.
Well, I mean, I think everybody, I mean, you have a point there. I mean, everybody would agree that at the moment with the APC, there is no question about who is in the driver's seat, and that is, of course, President Tinubu. There's no dispute about who's going to be the leader or who isn't. But that does not mean, as I said, in fairness to the point that you're making, that the party is completely united. Because, for instance, we heard today that members of the ANPP bloc in the APC have warned President Tinubu not to tamper with the vice president's seat in the run-up to 2027, or the bloc will leave the party. They're also complaining about marginalization and the lack of inclusivity. I mean, I expect that's music to your ears. I mean, those kinds of divisions.
Yeah, of course, it's if we want to look at it strictly in political terms. But you see, for us in ADC, we want all political parties to be strong because our commitment is to democratic survival of Nigeria. Nigeria's democracy cannot be strong if one political party is dominant. ADC does not desire one dominant political party system. ADC desires a multi-party, liberal, democratic system. So we want ADC to be in good health. We want PDP to be in good health. We want APC to be in good health. And when we criticize APC, it's because we want them to do better. If they are not able to do better, Nigerians are able to say, hang on, these people are not doing what we want them to do. Now this is alternative.
And as far as you're concerned, they're not doing well.
No, of course. This is the consensus.
Okay.
This is the consensus. They're not doing well.
On that
and
note,
what they are doing is actually bad.
On that note, on that predictable note, I want to thank you very much indeed. Bolaji Abdullahi is the National Publicity Secretary of the new ADC coalition. He's also a former Minister of Sport and as well as Youth Development.
I would like to hear from you. Maybe tell me, what do you think about this whole thing? What this journey to the 2027? Do you believe that ADC will give Peter Obi ticket, make it a rule? Because between you and I, if ADC really want to join a coalition to remove Tinubu in 2027, they need to be straightforward. Yes, to choose their person and stand behind their person. But this one, we say everybody have to fight for the ticket. May not go remove Tinubu later on, it will be as it gets, especially to Peter Obi and to the obedient. You and I know, say, if they have to fight, it's not going to reach Peter Obi's hand, because there's no way that primary election will be free and fair. We know country where we come from, so stop arguing with yourself. What do I know? This is NAIJA Watch Media. Join us every day, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. Let's continue to talk about the things that's affecting you and I. Take care, guys, and bye for now.